Okay, hello everyone. This is it's 3:25, so we are going to start this session. This is our last prime session by Muto-san. So, how are you going now? So, how are you doing? There is so few people. So you can call all of your friends here, and we can introduce our very last rapping sessions. Okay, so I will be giving a brief introduction of Muto-san. Shu Muto-san is an open source strategy professional at NEC Solution Innovators, and he is a CNCF ambassador, and he is a board member of CNCF, where he works to connect enterprise engineers, local communities, and global open source projects. Today, he will be sharing Japan's experience in helping users take their first steps toward upstream contribution and explore how Asian communities can build bridges to global open source projects together. So let's give a big warm applause to welcome Muto-san. Hi, Muto-san, お願いします。
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Shu Muto. Thank you very much for inviting me, COSCAP. I'm very happy and honored to be here in Taiwan. Today, I will talk about building bridges from Asia to global open source. This is not only story about Japan. Japan is just one example. I hope this talk can be useful for people here. My main message today is simple. Open source is not only software we use. Open source is also a place where people participate, learn, and grow together. And local communities can help people cross the bridges to global open source. First, let me briefly introduce myself. I worked as an open source strategy professional at NEC Solution Innovators. I'm also a CNCF ambassador, to the OSPO ambassador, Cloud Native Community Japan, and organizer of Kubernetes Upstream Training Japan. In the past, for 10 years, I worked as a maintainer for Kubernetes dashboard and OpenStack Horizon plugins for. Today, my work is at the crossing point of corporate strategy, community practice, and upstream contribution. I have faced various barriers to contribution inside companies. That's why I continue to pursue the value of open source and try to spread the value. So I'm here as someone who has worked between company, community, and upstream open source. In other words, I'm here to talk about bridge. So this is the core idea of my talk. Local communities are not separate from global open source. They are part of the bridge to it. Sometimes people think local language community are only local. They may think local communities are far from global upstream projects, but I don't think so. For many people, local communities are the first safe place to learn. They are the first place to ask questions, to meet other people, and then from there, people can move toward global open source. So today, I want to talk about participation infrastructure. Not only contribution numbers, not only how many pull requests, but how we can build paths for more people to participate. Today, I will talk about 5 bridges. The first bridge is from users to contributors. The second bridge is from local language to global participation. The third bridge is from individuals to organizations. The fourth bridge is from local communities to local ecosystem. And the fifth bridge is from Asia to global open source. These 5 bridges are connected. A person starts as a user, then they may become a contributor. They may learn in their own language first. Then they may join global communities. But for this to continue, individuals need support from organizations, and local communities need to connect with other local communities. Finally, Asian communities can learn from each other and build stronger bridges to global open source. Let's start with bridge 1, from users to contributors. Most people first meet open source as users. We install open source software, use open source libraries, we build products and services on top of open source. This is very normal, but open source grows through people who participate. So the first bridge is a mindset shift from consuming open source to participating in it. This does not mean everyone must become a core maintainer. It means everyone can find a way to participate. Small steps also matter. Open source is more than software. Of course, software and licenses are very important. But if we only look at software, we miss many things. There is the responsibility to use. There is maintenance and long-term sustainability of open source projects. There are people, developers, users, students, maintainers, and community organizers. There's learning, motivation, and growth from various people. And there is practice. Code is important, but open collaboration is also important. The real value of open source is not only the code. It is also in the people and collaboration around it. This is why contribution is important. Contribution connects people to the living community behind the software. So, why do users become contributors? There are many reasons. First, people can learn from real projects. Open source projects are real. They have real users, issues, reviews, and real discussions. Second, people can connect beyond their usual circle. They can meet engineers, maintainers, students, and users from other companies and other countries. We can touch various use cases, ideas, or technologies. Third, people can give back to communities they rely on. If we use open source every day, giving back is natural and healthy action. Fourth, people can become visible through global open experience. Their work can be seen outside their company or university. This is powerful value for students and engineers. So contribution is not only a duty for users, it is a way to learn, connect, and grow. Contribution is not only code. This is very, very important. Many people think, I cannot write code for big open source project, so I cannot contribute. But it is not true. Documentation and localization are also contribution. They turn knowledge into shared access. Mentoring and education are also contribution. They help the next person cross the bridge. Events and communities are also contribution. They create places where people can participate. Governance and policy also matter. They help open collaboration become sustainable. So the first bridge is not only about making users into code contributors. It is about helping people move from passive to use to active participation. This is the first bridge. Now, let's move to bridge 2, from local language to global participation. Here is another important message. Local language is not a wall. It can be the first bridge. In global open source, English is very important. I know that. But if we say you need to be fluent in English from first step, many people will never start. For many people, the first step is easier in their own language. So local language can lower the first fear. It can help people understand the community flow, and then people can move toward global participation. So local language does not replace global open source. It prepares people to join it. These barriers are not only Japanese. Engineers from China and Korea have told me that they feel similar language and cultural barriers. I believe many people in Asia, especially in the Far East, communities may also understand this. There is language pressure. Many people think my English needs to be better before I join. There is cultural distance. The way people speak up, ask questions, or disagree may be different. There is lack of confidence. People may not know if their first step is welcome, and there is limited support. Time, evaluation, and mentors are not always available, but the issue is not lack of skill. Many engineers and students have enough skill, I think. The problem is that the path is often invisible. So we need to make the first path visible. In Japan, one example is Kubernetes Upstream Training Japan. We started this activity in 2019. It started as local language onboarding for Japanese engineers. We wanted to help people understand how to join the Kubernetes community. In 2023, KUTJ joined Cloud Native Community Japan as a special interest group. This gave us a strong community base. And in 2025, we connected the training with DocsJA activities. DocsJA is Japanese translation group of Kubernetes documentations. Documentation and localization become a real entry point. The important point is this. Local language training lowers the first psychological barrier. Hands-on practice makes the contribution workflow concrete. and documentation and localization creates a realistic first contribution. It is close enough to try, and it is real enough to matter. I believe this pattern is not only for Kubernetes. Kubernetes is just my example. The same idea can work for many open source projects. Start with local language, make the first step safe. Use documentation or localization as a real entry point. Connect beginners with mentors, and then connect the local path to the global project. This is a reusable pattern. And I hope we can share this kind of pattern across Asia. This is the pathway. First, people learn in their local language. They learn the community structure, the tools, and the workflow. Second, they practice. They use GitHub, create pull requests, learn how review works. Third, they contribute. For example, documentation, localization, or first small pull requests. Fourth, they continue. They join the community, they get mentoring, and some of them help the next person. This is very important. One day, training is not enough. The goal is not only to finish training, the goal is to make a path from learning to real upstream contribution. Again, local language does not replace global participation. It prepares people to cross into it. Now, let's move to Bridge 3, from individuals to organizations. So far, I talked about people, users, students, engineers, and contributors. But sustainable contribution cannot depend only on heroic individuals. This is very, very important. In many companies, open source contributions depends on a few strong people. They work hard, they use their own time, they fight internal rules, they explain the value of contribution again and again, but this is not sustainable. Organization grow when people grow, so organization need to support open source participation. The bridge from individuals to organization is about making contribution possible for everyone, for everyday engineers, not for special person. For organization, contribution is not only goodwill. It is a partial way to sustain what they rely on. Company depends on open source every day. Most of their products and services use open source, as you guys know. But if users keep fixes only inside the company, the bridge stops at the company wall. Local fixes and private tips became hidden technical debt. This is a problem. One good way is the upstream first approach. Send fixes and knowledge back to the upstream, then maintenance becomes shared, visible, and more sustainable. This is not only good for the community, it is also good for the organizations. There are strong business reasons for open source contribution. Reports from the European Commissions and the Linux Foundation shows the value of open source contribution. There are a number about GDP, revenue, ROI and contribution patterns. These numbers are useful. They help us explain open source to managers and executives. They show that contribution is not only a hobby, it is a real economic value. But these numbers are not the whole story. Risk reduction explains why organizations start. It does not fully explain why people stay, grow, and bring open collaboration back inside. For that, we need to look at people growth. The deeper value is people growth. Open source contribution develops the people who carry the organization forward. Engineers and students can learn from real global projects. They can gain motivation through meaningful contribution. They can build confidence by crossing the first bridge. They can gain visibility through global open experience. This kind of experience is hard to get only from internal work. If organizations do not support this growth, people may take their growth somewhere else. So open source contribution is not only about solving today's technical problem, it is also about growing the people who will solve tomorrow's problem. The people benefits from Bridge One are not soft side effects. They can become organizational value. Learning becomes technical capability. Motivation becomes engagement and retention. Global experience becomes reputation and recruiting. Open collaboration becomes organizational culture. This is the key point. People growth becomes organizational capacity. If an organization supports contribution, it does not only support one person, it builds the ability of the organization to learn from outside. It builds the ability to work with communities. It builds a culture that can connect internal work with global open source. So the role of an organization is not to find only heroes. The role is to make participation possible for their every employees. Organization can recognize contribution as real work. They can provide time, policy, mentoring, and psychological safety. They can create OSPODs or similar support functions. They can connect business goals with community participation. I want to say this again, support contribution as employee growth, not only individual contribution. Once the bridge is built, ordinary engineer can cross it. And some of them may become heroes later, but the goal is not to depend on heroes. The goal is to build participation infrastructure. Now, let's move to Bridge 4, from local communities to local ecosystem. In Japan, we often use the word wa. Wa. It can mean harmony, but here I use it as connection. Japan's wa connect communities, companies, governance, and public sector dialogue. A local ecosystem appears when separate communities begin to support each other. One community alone can be strong, But when community connect, the whole ecosystem becomes stronger. This is the fourth bridge. Many communities are strong. Many communities are strong, but isolated. Technical communities grow technical practice, business and OSPO community discuss strategies and organizational support. Compliance committee discuss licenses, supply chain, and open chain practices. Policy dialogue happens in another room. Each room is important, but if they stay separate, knowledge does not travel well. The bridge is not one big organization. It is repeated collaboration across communities. We need bridges between these rooms. This slide shows many communities and events like KUTG, Kubernetes Meetup Tokyo, CNCJ, CNCF to the group, Open Chain, Academic OSPO, OSPO Alliance, FOSDEM, EU Open Source Policy Summit, Open Source Conference, COSCAP, Government-Related Dialogue, UN Open Source Week, and Japan Model. Wow. This Japan model was announced by Toyota's Endo-san et al. At UN Open Source Week. I'm also a contributor to this Japan model. Please refer to the QR code for details about Japan model. So now, what is the core of this Japan model? This looks busy, but the idea is simple. WA is not only harmony inside one community, it is collaboration across communities. This is a dialogue of some of the connection in my experience, and it's a busy diagram in itself. But there are many more communities that I have not connected to, as these communities exchange various opinions and experience various connections. The community expands into an ecosystem, but becomes stronger when technical, business, compliance, and policy communities connect. This is not made by one big organization. This is made by many bridges. I'm sure everyone here is also building bridges with others and expanding the chain of contributions, and I'd like you to continue to doing so. What does a local ecosystem make possible? First, people move. People move between events, projects, and roles. Students may join a meetup, then join training, then make a first pull request, then become a maintainer. Second, knowledge travels. Knowledge from upstream practice can move into companies and universities. Third, support multiplies. Mentors, policies, and shared materials can be reused. Fourth, community voice can reach policy. Their community experience can inform public sector dialogue. So a local ecosystem is participation infrastructure. It supports people, organizations, and public dialogue. And this becomes the bridges from local to Asia, then from Asia to global open source. before moving to the final bridge, I want to talk about this conference itself. This session is almost at the end of COSCAP. For 2 days, you listened to many talks, you met many people, you learned many ideas. Maybe you found a new products or a new community or a new question. And now I want to ask one simple thing. What bridge will you build after COSCAP? It connects coders, users, and promoters. It connects students, engineers, companies, communities, and public actors. It connects Taiwan and Japan, Asia, and the global open source world. But the conference is not only a place to listen, a conference is a place to find the next step. Maybe your next step is small. Maybe you talk to one person after this session. Maybe you join one local meetup. Maybe you translate one page or report one issue or introduce one committee to another committee. Maybe you tell your company, this is not only a hobby, this is how we learn and grow. These small actions matter. A bridge is not built by one big action. It is built by many small connections. One person connects to other person. One community connects to other community. One local activity connects to a global project. That is how a participation infrastructure grows. For me, this talk is also a bridge. Through people I met at FOSDEM, UN Open Source Week, and in the Taiwan open source community, I was invited to COSCAP. Now I'm here, crossing a new bridge with you. I would like to thank Doris, Liv, and COSCAP team for building this bridge. But I hope this bridge does not end here. After this session, after this conference, I hope we can continue to connect. Japan can learn from Taiwan. Taiwan can learn from Japan, and the Asian community can learn from each other. So when I say building bridges from Asia to global open source, I do not mean something far away. It can start here. It can start today. It can start with one conversation after this session. This is why COSCAP matters in this story. Now, the final bridge from Asia to global open source. Japan's experience is only one example. I'm not saying the other Asian community should copy Japan. Actually, Japan also has many problems yet. We are still learning. The next step is not to copy one model. The next step is to learn together. Asia has many communities. Each community has different strengths. If we share our patterns, we can help each other. Asia is not one community. It is many local ecosystems. We have shared barriers, language pressure, cultural distance, limited support. But we also have different strengths, different local communities, different industries, different policy contexts. And we have reusable patterns. Onboarding, localization, mentoring materials, community events, we do not need become the same. A regional bridge starts when we exchange patterns. Not when everyone counts the same. So what can Asian community build together? We can share local onboarding patterns and training materials. We can connect events, universities, companies, and public sector people. We can turn language and cultural diversity into access. Not a war. And we can amplify Asian voices in global open source. The goal is a regional learning network, a network that helps people cross into global open source. This is not only about Japan. It can include many Asian communities, ecosystems, and countries. We can learn together, and we can build bridges together. We do not need to wait until everyone becomes fluent in global open source culture. We do not need to wait until every company has a perfect OSPO. We do not need to wait until everyone has perfect English. We can start with local communities. We can start with local language. We can start with small contributions, and we can connect these small bridges. Local communities are not separate from global open source. They are bridges to it. And together, Asia can build stronger bridges to global open source. Let's build bridges to global open source together. During this COSCUP, I have already had the opportunity to talk with various people. I would be very happy if I could build new bridges through these conversations. After this session, any questions, comments, or even just say hello or a handshake, everything welcome. You're also welcome to search and connect from this QR code or my name. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Muto-san, for sharing this fascinating bridge that hope we all can inspire something to the communities. So next we are going to the Q&A session. In this session, you can raise questions in either English, Japanese, or Mandarin. I can translate it for you. 你们可以使用中文提問。日本語での質問も可能です。有問題嗎？ Please， 我们有麦克风给他吗？还是只有这里？就。I'll be busy. Please.
Oh, hello. I'm actually here from Japan. I'm now living there. 日本には今こういうCOSCUPみたいなこの大きいオープンソースのイベントはないかと思いますけれど、今後このようなイベントがあった方がいいとか、そのことについてどう思っているのかについてお聞きできればと思います。So I just like to hear what's your opinion on. I don't think there's an event like COSCUP right now in Japan, but do you think there should be an event like this?
Thank you for a great question. Yes, it is. Like FOSDEM, COSCUP, there's no, not so big open source conference, but we have, なんだろうな。Open source conference in Japan. There are many events in all over the Japan, and Linux Foundation events are a little big, like Open Source Summit Japan or KubeCon Japan happened last year. There are thousands of people coming in, but these events not so closely connected. I think it's a little bit problem. I want to bridge this to them. Thank you. That's okay.
Thank you. So, any questions?
Sorry, I'm Masafumi and well, the OSPN Truck Japan and the exhibitor booth on having a truck and OSPN Truck Japan this year. I'm for behalf of Shusan answer this and there's a big and community-driven conference in Japan. I think because the Japanese and the open source community and strongly connected and to each region. So and in Taiwan and Taipei is for base and so strong point of the gathering and holding the open source event or some IT event in Taipei. But in Japan and open source event is very spread it in each area. So and open source conference Tokyo or Kyoto or the Osaka or the Fukuoka and Hokkaido or the Sendai or the many and hold many of the areas and in Japan areas and strongly connected with the region, each region. That's why the community-driven conference and may not hold and may not be held in one of the biggest community-driven conference. If strongly nailed down to each region, that's why the Japanese open source event is not so big. Thank you.
Okay, we'll be open for the last one short questions. Do you have any questions for Muto-san? Yes? Okay, if there's no more questions, we will wrap up the session here and let us give a big round of applause to thank Muto-san for his fascinating bridging.
大文物理家